this short film we shall be looking at the new General Appendix instructions for the operation of power doors on driver-only trains. The principal change concerns the requirement to carry out a door test. In this case, the driver carries out a thorough door test while preparing the train at the depot or stabling point. He inserts his door key, turning it to the on position, then releases all doors on both sides of the train. He now walks through the train, opening each door by means of the adjacent passenger door open button, and checking visually that the external hazard light is illuminated on each side of every vehicle. If any door is found to be isolated, the isolation must be removed, unless the door is defective and correctly locked and labelled out of use. The driver must check in all other cabs that no door key has been left on. These cabs must then be locked from passenger access. Returning to the leading cab, he now closes all doors by means of the close button on the driving desk and checks that the door interlock light illuminates. A unit must not enter service from a maintenance depot if any door does not function correctly or is already defective and locked and labelled out of use, nor where a hazard light is inoperative. If the train is entering service from a stabling point, the driver must ensure that any defective door is locked and labelled out of use. However, if all doors on one side of a vehicle are out of use, the train must not be taken into service. A defective hazard light must be entered in the repair book and operations control must be informed. Now let's look at the operation of power doors once the train enters service. When entering a station, the driver must not release the doors until the train has come to a complete stop. Be sure to release the doors on the correct side. When the train is ready to depart, the driver closes all doors, then checks that the door interlock light has illuminated. He must now check by means of CCTV or mirrors that the doors have properly closed and that it is safe to start. Where no CCTV or mirror is provided, he must make this check visually, or where the platform is staffed, he must obtain assurance that any part of the train which he cannot see has been checked by obtaining the ready-to-start signal. This part of the procedure is a vital safety check. If the door interlock light fails to illuminate after all doors have been closed, the driver must check the doors for obstruction. When an obstruction is located, he simply releases the door and removes it. Don't forget that a hazard light will remain illuminated on any car where the passenger alarm has been operated or the fire equipment has been activated on a DMMU train. If any door remains open after several attempts to close all doors, the driver should close it manually, then isolate and lock it before affixing an out-of-use label.
I'm sorry about the inconvenience, ladies and gentlemen, but we have a door port on the train, so I must ask you to detrain. Thank you.
If any door cannot be closed, the vehicle must be put out of use, the passengers transferred to another part of the train, and operations control informed. In these circumstances, the train must be taken out of service at the first suitable location. If the door interlock light still cannot be obtained after all doors have been checked, the driver may apply power if he is sure that it is safe to start. Should he be unable to take power, it may be necessary to isolate the traction interlock. This action removes a vital safeguard, and the greatest care should be taken to ensure that the train is not moved until it is safe to do so. The traction interlock must only be isolated to enable the train to proceed to the first point where it can be taken out of service. No train may proceed beyond such point with the traction interlock isolated. New labels are being introduced to caution passengers to the danger of attempting to enter or leave the train while the doors are closing, thus reducing the risk of being trapped. Certain types of unit, for example classes 319 and 321, are provided with secure parcels areas which must be locked from public access when required by the post office. However, power doors in these areas must be fully tested before the train enters service. In emergency, some power doors may be opened by use of the internal or external emergency door release. External doors must be closed at all times when the train is in motion, including shunting or empty movement. Should the driver leave his position for any reason, he must remove the door key from the driving desk. If it is necessary to leave the train, he must ensure that the door is closed behind him, unless he uses a door to which passenger access is denied. Finally, when the train is stabled, all external doors must be closed and interior cab doors and end vestibule doors locked.